Hi, this is Neil from Allans Music and Billy Hyde, and on this video I'm here to help you with a little bit of advice on purchasing a guitar at the entry level, whether you be another instrumentalist thinking about getting a guitar and wondering what style to get, or if you've just never played guitar and you just don't know where to start. Now, there are basically two options in the acoustic guitar category. It's either nylon string, or what they call classical guitar, or steel string guitar, quite often referred to as a folk guitar. Or a dreadnought. There's a lot of words that are thrown about, so if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask anyone in our stores about this sort of terminology. They get the questions all the time, they're used to it, and they're more than happy to explain it to you. First of all, I'll show you the nylon string guitar and the virtues of that as an entry-level instrument. This one here is an Allans 401. This one's a bit above the entry level. Quite a popular entry level guitar is also the Yamaha C40, which often comes with a carry bag. It's a bit cheaper than this one, but a really good guitar as well. So firstly, the nylon string guitar, they quite often come in packs which are come in at a lower price with the accessories, and they're a little bit lighter. So if you've got children taking these to school, you can take them to school without hurting the poor kid's back. Okay, so they can play soccer in the afternoon and not blame the guitar if they don't get any goals. So on the nylon string guitar, obviously it is nylon strings. So what you're looking for here in the shop is, if you put your finger behind the strings, you can see through the strings like it's fishing line. That's nylon strings. And don't forget, these are nylon right across. Despite the fact that these look like steel strings, they're just wrapped in steel. It's nylon on the inside, and it gives you a mellower tone as well. The main advantage why a lot of guitar teachers recommend a nylon string guitar is that the nylon is actually soft on the fingers for a beginner, because it can take a while for a beginner to develop a little bit of a callus on the fingers so it doesn't hurt anymore. So there is a bit of a pain barrier to get through with the guitar, but it's very short-lived, and once you get used to it, you just play. So it's very soft on the left hand. You get that mellow tone. So that is the nylon string guitar. The only con that I would say about buying a nylon string for a young beginner is that quite often the neck is wider. The classical instruments and flamenco guitars are all built with a wider neck. So if you've got someone, or even an adult with small hands, I've seen this before too, you'll find that they'll go, oh, I've been told to get a nylon string guitar for my first one, and they find it very difficult to play because it's further to reach around the neck to play chords, especially bar chords up high and things like that. So weigh the options up yourself. It's going to be your guitar, and it's completely up to you. But do think about that, and go for what's best for you. Now, next is the steel string acoustic guitar. This is a Yamaha FG700, a very popular instrument. Now, Yamaha and also some other companies like Legacy, and there are a lot. They have factories that build entry-level instruments, and this is not the base level instrument here. This is probably a little bit above a beginner's one, but a lot of beginners start on this because they figure they're going to dedicate themselves to it. Let's just do it anyway. Let's just get into a slightly nicer instrument. And a lot of the steel strings come in packs as well. Not always as cheap as the nylon string packs, but you are paying for a slightly higher grade instrument sometimes. So make sure you ask the staff about what you get with your instrument and what are the pros and cons of getting the accessories with a pack, or just buying a nice guitar and getting a deal on the accessories afterwards. So again, this is all up to you. On the steel string, cool thing about the steel string, they sound more like what you hear on the radio. If you listen to jazz radio, how about a bit more? Or your folk and your folk rock. I mean, every rock band in the world also has, in addition to their electric guitars, have an acoustic as well. So you've heard it on the radio, it's a familiar sound, and it's what people like to hear the songs that they play coming from. The only con about an instrument like this is, compared to the nylon string, steel string is a bit harder. A little bit harder on the fingers, but that tension in the strings is what gives you a brighter tone on it. Gives you a slightly brighter, more alive tone. So that is one thing to consider. But a well-made guitar and a well-set-up guitar will, straight out of the box from the factory, have a good action. Now, action means the distance of the strings from the fretboard. Okay, so that basically means the closer the strings are to the fretboard, you don't want to go too close because you get buzzing and things like that. The easier the guitar is to play. And a nice guitar like this one, they're quite easy to play despite being steel string. But the other thing as well, compared to the nylon string guitar, these have a skinnier neck. So with the beginners that couldn't get their hand around the nylon string, if they're willing just to go through a couple of months of just persevering with the steel string, they'll be fine. They can get their hands around the smaller neck of the steel string and they can actually play their chords, their bar chords. Hardest chord I ever learned was a bar chord. Everything else after that fell into place. I don't know what happened. Okay, so that is the steel string and the nylon string. The decision is yours. Again, ask any of our staff any questions at all before you make a purchase. And we hope you enjoy your first or your next guitar.